All right. Go ahead and start with your feet pointed straight ahead and connect into all of your toes. And feel the heel and the second toe and the big toe and the outer heel connect to all four corners on your feet. And then turn your attention to your breathing and start to take some deep, full breaths in and out, fully out. Deep breath in, breathing into your back body and out, fully out, fully in, fully out. Take your hands for a moment. I loved this description of prayer position, that Anjali Mudra, or prayer position, is bringing the past and the future together to be right here in this moment. So bring your hands together in front of your heart for a moment, and then take another breath, fully in, fully out. Drawing energy from the floor up to your feet, fully in, fully out. One more. Allowing the rest of what's going on in the world to fade away so that you can focus on the care and attention to your health with your friends for this hour. Fully in. Big into your back body, fully out. Then let your arms hang by your sides. Strong arms, strong glutes. Slide your shoulders up to your ears and press them down 10 times. Moving the shoulder girdle. And then release. Draw it in again, shoulders onto your back, slide them up towards your ears and press them down. Strong arms, strong belly, strong glutes. Connect all the way into your toes. And big toes down, little toes up. Little toes or four toes down, big toes up. When we connect in with the different toes, they have a different relationship to the front and the back of the muscles in your leg. So as you begin to root the four toes down, lift the big toes up, you actually are connecting into your quads and into your hamstrings. Little toes down, that connects into the hamstrings. Front big toes connecting to the quads. So lifted toes connecting to the front of the leg, smaller toes down into the back of the leg. And that's true as we begin to do things like squats or forward folds. You can mess with the gripping of your toes or pressure of your toes and the connection into your whole entire foot. And that will create information that is going all the way up to what muscles are working in the rest of your leg. Articulate all 5 of your toes down one at a time. Pinky toes, second, middle, biggest, all the way down, and then back up, big, all the way to pinky. And then take that attention into your ankle. And just supinate your feet and pronate your feet. And just bring that attention into the ankle. And then make sure your feet are hip width apart and begin to do little squats down and up and just wake up your legs a little bit. When you do that, I want you to notice all of the foot. So we say knees over toes, but actually you don't have a lot of information or feedback in your knees. So you have much more feedback from the floor up into your feet to do your squats and feel heel to toes, and that the weight stays even in that distribution. Little squats, warming up the legs. And then start to warm up your hip hinge. If you have a block or two, go ahead and grab them. See if I can find the balance here. Bending your knees, hip hinging backwards, one block or two down. Then connect into your feet again, toes to heel, drawing energy up from the floor, feeling all 5 toes connecting in and both sides of your heel to turn on both the quads and the hamstrings. Drawing your hips back, lengthen your heart forward. Go ahead and reach one arm way out away from you and take a breath into your side body. And replace that hand down. Either you could be here too, and then just go hand out. Open up the side ribs and breathe into the back of your body, fully in, fully out. Fully in, breathing in through your nose and mouth today is okay. If you just want to filter through your nose, do a pretty quick breath, fully out. Then bending forward, coming up halfway, lengthening, bending forward again, and then using your butt muscles, coming all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach your arms. Fold your fingers to your palms, bring your hands down. Elbow curls all the way together, all the way back, 20 times. Even here today, connect into your feet. You may wiggle your toes. And then hands together again, show up right here in this moment. Feet connected to the ground, drawing energy up. Bring your arms all the way up over your head. Ribs stable, so notice the tendency to want to come here. Little bit of a tailbone scoop, ribs right over hips. Reaching all the way up, bringing your arms down. Slide it up again. Shoulders can come all the way up by your ears. Reach and release. Arms up, big full breath, fully in, fully out. Again, fully in, fully out. One more time, reaching the arms up, making more space for the lungs, fully in, fully out, and release. Both hands to your blocks again if you can, bending over, bend your knees. Feel the floor, drawing energy up from the floor. Go ahead and press the little toes down more and see if you can find your hamstrings more, the back side of your leg. Then big toes down more and turn on the fronts of your legs. And then press your knees out a little bit and see if you can get the outer hips to turn on. And then squeeze your legs towards each other a little bit, hugging in. And find the balance where the muscles all the way around the whole leg is working and supported. Then bend the knees, come into chair pose. Reaching your arms up. 3 breaths. Fully in. Fully out. Fully in. Fully out. One more. Fully in. Fully out. Bending forward. Stretching the legs more straight if you're able. Find those hamstrings, lengthen the hamstrings. Draw the whole body forward again. Once more, reach the right arm way out. You can even bend sideways a little bit. More space in the torso. Pulling your hips back, lengthening your ribs. That muscle on the side, the lat and the serratus. Lengthen that side body, second side. Then bending the knees once more, coming back into chair. Arms up. 3 more breaths. Fully in. Fully out. Feel your toes. Fully in. Fully out. Once more. And out. And bending forward. All the way over. Hands to your hips. Squeeze your butt muscles. Rise to standing. Standing arm circles. Feet hip width apart still. Fold your fingers to your palms. Arms out to the side. Find the balance between the squeeze at your shoulder blades and opening up the pec muscle, and that it's not overly contracted on the back body. So find balance between the front and the back again. Elbows strong, circle forward. 40 circles. Backwards, palms up, strong elbows, balance between how much squeeze is happening at the shoulder and backwards. And then turn your toes out to the side so that your hips are turning outward, and then find your butt muscles and squeeze into your glutes and release. Tighten, release. Use the glutes to pull the whole leg bone around, getting even in your hips. And then bring your feet to straight and squeeze and release. Taking out any rotation that might be in the leg bone up into the pelvis. And then coming forward again, Feel your feet on the ground, feet hip width apart, bend forward once more. Hips go back, heart goes forward. This time you can interlace your elbows or just grab your arms and open up the front of the shoulder. Be mindful that right away the ribs are going to want to pop forward. Pull the ribs back, tuck the tailbone a little bit. Find the balance between tailbone round and too far out. So somewhere in the middle, neutral pelvis. Open up the front of the shoulders and just breathe. Strong legs, quads working, big toes connecting to the ground, hamstrings working, 4 toes connected to the ground. 3 breaths. Switch sides. Switch arm position, same thing, 3 more. And then forward fold completely, open up those hamstrings. Let your head go. Bending your knees again. This time, come into your chair position once more. Interlace your hands behind your back. Use that to open up the front of the chest. We've been doing so much checking out information, texting, that all that forward action this way is probably shortening the front body a little bit. So use this just to open it up. Little tuck in the tailbone, gently round the upper back. Open up the front of the shoulder. And then all the way to standing. Release your arms out to the side. Feet connected to the floor, squeeze in with your legs. You could even put your block here in the inside of the legs if you want a little more stability. Windmill over to one side. Big full breath, open that side body, make space in the rib cage. Inhale, come up, over to the other side. Inhale up, exhale over. Fully in, fully out. Fully in, fully out. Giving your ribs and lungs a workout. Exchanging oxygen for carbon dioxide. Taking the breath, using the breath to make the body more alkaline. All right, then grab your elbows again. Squeeze in on that block. Find inner thighs back, tailbone scoop. Find the balance in your pelvis to come to neutral. Feel the ribs open on the back side of your body, so more wide. Again, it's easy to come into that little back bend here. Get strong in that, stable through your spine, and then use that to open up your arms. Now see if you can get taller by narrowing your waistline, lifting the ribs a little higher, even letting your shoulders come up by your ears. Then open your arms, take it into a little bit of a back bend. Bringing it down, switch the arm position. Strong through your feet. Big toes connected so the front of the leg stays connected. Little toes connected so that the back of the leg stays connected. Squeeze in on the block. Balance that with a little outer hip as well. And then once more, get taller, float your rib cage up, make it buoyant. Reaching your arms up, open it up, little back bend. And release it down. Release the block. Come down onto your hands and knees. Cats and dogs. Rounding, tucking your tailbone. Moving up through your back, opening each space all the way up the vertebrae, your back get wider, letting your head come down, then moving into an arch, shortening the back body, using the back muscles, squeezing the shoulder blades, retracting the shoulder blades, and then protracting, coming all the way up. Keep going about 10 times. Strong arms, strong hands. In the same way that the toes work for the feet and the rest of the leg, the hand, using all of the hand to keep this palm lifted, this arch of your hand lifted, to keep the wrists straight, especially this outer bone right here, pisiform. That strong hand on the floor turns all of the muscles around the forearm on. So feel your hand connecting, fingertips and even where your fingers meet your palm, gripping so that that middle part and the back of your wrist stays lifted. Now take the right leg back behind you, strong belly, everything working, hold it up there, make that into a square, pull the belly up and in a little bit so you actually tuck your tailbone slightly, gently round through your upper back so you're not collapsing in your shoulders, but pressing up through there. Feel the low belly muscles turn on all the way at the base with that little bit of a tuck. And then find your butt muscles and lift that leg up and hold it. Find your breathing, find your breath. In and out, fully in and fully out. Strong hands, strong forearms. And release the leg. Second side. Bring that leg up. Rounding through the upper back slightly. Slight tailbone tuck, because as you lift that leg up, it's going to pull you back into neutral. Feel your low belly turn on. Stay integrated through the side body, through the serratus. Hold it up there. 10, 9, 8. Focus on your breath. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Both knees down. Slightly tuck your tailbone, slightly round your back. Keep your forearms straight up and down. Take it a little forward and press back up. Let's just do 3 of those. Take it down, hold it for a couple of seconds. Down, hold, feel your triceps. Feel your forearms. Press back up. 2 more. Down. Forearms stay vertical. Shoulders stay lifted. Hold. Press. Once more. Take it down. Hold. Try to make your upper back more round here. Pressing up. Awesome. Coming down onto your belly. Take your arms out to the side so that they're at, past the corners of your mat. Let your feet be toenail side down and feel your pinky toes into the ground. That's going to help the inner thighs rotate so that your sacrum has space, so you're internally rotating the legs a little bit, pinky side down, and then scoop the tailbone slightly so that you have a little bit of a rounding even in your back, where you're flattening the curve slightly. And then I want you to use your arms and think of all the way at the base of the neck, getting wider as you press up into a little bit of Cobra. Wider, wider, wider. Feel it all the way through your abdominals. And then lower down. Again, hands here. Press wider through your back. Wider through your upper back. More round in your upper back. Up. And lowering down. Once more. And release. Now take your hands by your sides. Keep a little bit of that rounding, hands right by your rib cage. Move into a Cobra. Feet down into the floor, connected all the way through the bottom of your body. Then pressing, drawing your shoulders up, reaching your belly forward, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Cobra. And release down. Move with your breath. Shoulders lifting up and away from the floor. Upper back gets more wide. And then knees wide, press back, child's pose. Walk your hands as far forward as you're able. Expand underneath the armpit into the back of your ribs once more. Big breaths, fully in, fully out. 2 more, fully in, fully out. Excellent. Press up onto your hands and knees. Bringing your right leg forward. Kneeling lunge. Let's go. Walking that right leg out to the side a little bit. Hands to the floor. Maybe elbows to the floor. Squeeze the back knee in toward the front heel so that there's a lot of muscular activation hugging toward the midline. Then as you activate, that allows for other muscles to release. Another breath here. And then coming up. Hands to the thigh. I'm going to fold my mat so that my back knee has more padding and move it so that I'm actually on the top of the thigh or the bottom of the thigh, the top of the knee, instead of right on the kneecap. And then reaching back, draw your butt back to your heel. So that's moving my front leg more straight, connecting the heel to the butt or as close to it as you can, and then open into that front knee again. Pressing down, slightly tucking the tailbone, staying connected all the way through the pelvis up to your ribs. Hold and breathe. Opening the quad, opening the psoas. Releasing down, tucking your back toes under now. Hands to your front knee, pressing that front knee down, getting strong through the legs. Then scoop your tailbone down, get your rib cage to come right over your pelvis. Squeeze your back foot and front heel towards each other a lot. And then take your arms up. Float your ribs up. Big full breath. Fully in, fully out. Squeezing the ribs. One more, fully in, fully out. And release. Hands to the legs, set the back knee down, and switch sides. Left foot coming forward, right knee coming back. Make the left foot out to the edge of your mat, hands to the floor, and just take it forward. Back toes tucking under, back knee hugging in toward the front heel. And coming down. Wherever you're able, keep that squeeze between the knee and the heel connected into the pelvis, and then soften through the groin. Come back to your breathing. Even here, notice what your toes are doing. All the muscles around your front leg need to be active. So can you connect into your toes even here, big toes and little toes, to connect the quad and the hamstring, even in a pose like this? Feeling them on the floor, turning on all the muscles around the entire leg. Then coming back, I'm going to double pad that knee and bring the leg back a little more so that as I bring it up, it's on the top of the knee and not the kneecap. Grabbing the foot, bringing the heel and butt towards each other, straightening the front knee a little bit. When you get that good connection, then you can go deepen into that front knee again. Pulling that right hip forward and left hip back to square your hips. Back to your breath. And release. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee off the floor. Hug into the midline. Square your hips. Tailbone scooping down. Rib cage lifting. Take it all the way up. Float the rib cage. Maybe look up. Wide and open upper back, and then into a little bit of a back bend if it feels okay to you. And then both hands down to the floor, step all the way back into your push-up position. You can do knees, chest, chin, or all the way down, coming down to your belly. Hold your hands under your forehead. Let's go into hips a little bit more. Now the hips should be much more open. Bend both knees. Press your pelvis into the floor. Knees together, flex the feet, drop your legs away from each other, and try to press them down toward the floor. Going into that internal rotation. Notice that that internal rotation wants to make your back arch. That little bit of lumbopelvic rhythm is okay, but don't let it just get sloppy. Keep a little bit of low belly engaged, and then bring it back in. Pressing the pelvis into the floor, out, and in. Let your head and neck just go. Tuck your front ribs under, and breathe. About 20 of these. Your legs are in an open kinetic chain now, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to feel the toes to be able to connect into the hamstrings. But see if you could even do that here. Your hamstrings are curled, they're shortened a little bit since your legs are up. See if you can connect into your feet to even connect into your hamstrings a little bit more. And then take your knees wide, go bottoms of your feet together. Press the pelvis to the floor again. Pressing the bottom of the feet together to feel all the way up into your butt muscles. And release. And release. Roll onto your back for a crocodile twist. Arms out to the sides, palms down. Left heel on top of your right toes. Then from the inner heel, letting the leg internally rotate. Let that take you all the way up, inner thigh, or inner calf, inner thigh, all the way up to the inner hip bone. Then look all the way to the left. Hold and breathe. Untwist. Switch sides. Right inner heel, right inner calf, right inner thigh, right inner hip. Turning up, look to the right. Hold and breathe. Go back to that breath, fully in, fully out. squeezing, fully in, fully out, fully in, fully out, fully in, fully out. Back down, both feet on the floor, into knee drops, both knees going to the right, up, and both knees going to the left. Right. This time take your right heel, hook it on top of the left knee, bringing the left arm over your head, and do 3 deep breaths like that, fully in, fully out. Fully in, fully out, fully in, squeeze it out, hold the out, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Bring your legs up, switching sides, over to the left. Left heel on top of right knee, right arm over your head. Back to breathing. If you get a little lightheaded, that's normal. Fully in, fully out. Fully in, fully out. Fully in, fully out. One more. This time on the out, hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Both feet on the floor, pelvic tilts. Articulating each vertebrae one at a time. Feel as you tuck your tailbone, the rounding happen in your low back. Then as you go forward, that you can use the back muscles to pull and arch into your back. All the way to flat. All the way to round. Or all the way to arch. Even here, connect to your feet. Can you feel the pressure of the toes to connect into the back of your leg? Your hamstrings connect to your sit bones and help to tuck your tailbone under. And then your big toes connect to the front of your legs and help pull and arch into your back. Little toes or 4 toes, hamstrings, rounding, glutes active, big toes, front of the legs, forward. Rocking chair with your feet up on your toes, back on your heel. Take that into the ankle. And then grab your strap or belt. If you don't have it, grab your block and do the opposite. Either way, just balance the pelvis. Pressing out with your knees. Keep a constant pressure out against it. Now connect to your feet again. Small toes, back of the legs turning on. Outward pressure, pelvis in neutral. Reach your arms over your head in a pullover. And I just want you to feel that connection all the way from the small floor toes up to the calves, up to the back of the leg, up to the butt, into your back. Keep that connection. Let it all turn on, especially if you have one side where that posterior chain doesn't like to turn on so well. See if you can go to a flat back now for a moment. Even connect here, small toes pressing hard down into the floor. Whole back of the leg turning on. Outward with the knees against the block. And then take it back to neutral. So feel your low back can slightly lift off the floor again. Bring your arms up, then connect your elbows together and round in your upper back. So now you have the back of your head, the back of your heart, your sacrum, your hamstrings, your calves, your outer hip, and your toes all working. Feel your belly turn on, just to hold you there. See if you can reach your arms up over your head, feeling the back of your heart still pressing down into the floor and then opening that side body. My arms don't quite get to the floor, but see if you can just let that all open. And then bring it up. Give your legs a break for a sec. Switch the arm position. Once more. Little toes down into the floor to turn on the back side of your leg. Outward pressure against the strap. Neutral pelvis. Belly turning on a little bit. Arms overhead, but don't lose the connection of the back of your heart into the floor. See if you can just let those arms open as much as they are able. Maybe your arms come down to the floor. Find your belly, all those belly muscles working, hip muscles. Keep that hamstring bite connecting into your toes. And release. Release your arms. Release the strap. And stretch both legs out on the floor for some femur rotations. Full rotation out and in. Letting the legs just be freed a little bit from the axial skeleton, the torso. Arms also, go ahead and roll your shoulders. And then come into whatever position is comfortable for you. Legs out straight or bringing in a block or a chair, legs going up over the block. Put your hands into whatever position is most comfortable for you. Again, to connect to your breathing on the sides of your ribs or your belly and your heart or out to the side, whatever feels right. And then I want you just to connect to the sound of your own breath. Your breath is the constant pulsation that is a reminder of the pulsation of everything we know in the universe. It is also your ticket to the present moment. To showing up fully and stepping out of the habit of the mind to take over. I think especially when there's so much information coming at us, that it's so important to have this time in the day where you connect to your higher self, connect to your breathing, and allow there to be space in the chatter. So notice the space between the breath for a moment. That space is always there. It can be shorter or longer, and when we pay attention to it, we can have more awareness of that empty space. We can amplify that positive vibration in that space by coming together as a community and doing this with all of our friends, connecting to our breathing, connecting to the health of our body, our physical body, our emotional body, our wisdom body. I'm going to give you 2 full minutes of quiet. And I want you to see if you can just stay present to your breathing and that space between the breath. Slowly begin to be in touch with your body again. And if you don't have your hand on your heart, go ahead and shift to a hand on your heart or hands in Anjali Mudra in prayer position again. And just honor yourself for getting to your mat, to your practice today, to continue to cultivate optimal health, optimal alignment, muscular activation, all the way down to this cellular level, so that all the information you're feeding your body is about care and love. And thank you so much for showing up to class today.